Hey, here we are. Again, Derek Hugel, Wolf Industries Inc., and we've got episode number 5, summing it all up. We're going to talk about logistics briefly and things to pay attention there, and dive into doing a pro forma. We want to make sure that the math works, talk about some exit strategies that when you're ready to exit the project, what are you going to do with that? And then make sure and stick around for the pre-purchase feasibility checklist. We want to make sure and get that out to you. So, okay, step 1. When we look at logistics, we want to really pay attention to the operator that is producing the manufactured units. When it comes to Wolf Industries, we have our own truck and transport crew that will take this trailer right here, and we'll use it over and over and over again, sliding it underneath the module, bringing it to the site. That said, you might find a manufacturer that does not do their own trucking and transportation, and then you got to jump on Google Maps and start searching for modular home transport. Modular home transport. Oh, look at that, Wolf Industries pops up. So there's not too many of them that do it, but you're going to have to call around and find somebody that does transportation. We focus primarily on just our product that we transport. The logistics staging is important. So if you have a site that's similar to our orchards project right here, you can imagine the logistics that are involved with getting these houses brought in, not in the way of the general contractor doing the site work, making sure they're showing up on time, in the right order, going on the right foundation. It is a logistical challenge, but that's what we like at Wolf Industries. We thrive in that arena, and staging these would be very difficult to have them on site. So we staged them at our factory and then brought them down there when the foundations were done, ready to receive the house. Again, all this to belabor the point to contemplate and make sure you have a plan for how to stage the module units prior to construction. Okay, the next up is doing a quick and dirty pro forma. Let's dive into it. If we take this site, we want to determine what we're going to do with it and find out how that's going to work. So what I like to do is jump on and get a new blank workbook, and we're going to say test property, and we're going to say cost of unit. We're going to say number of units, and we're going to start plugging that in. So let's do it. We've got this parcel someone had called in about. We jump to Property Information Center, and we look at the zoning code of R18. That's inside the city of Vancouver. This little hot link will bring us there, and we're going to look up R18. R18 it's moved around, and I forget if it's R17 is in the low density. So I got to go to the high density. High density residential district. So we scroll to the table that depicts our uses, which our focus has historically been cottage housing. And that is not allowed. No, I shouldn't say it's not allowed. Cottage housing under the R18 is not even an option that they talk about. So what we can call these are single dwelling units detached, and they're permitted as a footnote 4 and 5. 4 being minimum residential densities met on the overall project basis, and then 25 subject provisions applying to the R17 zoning districts. Lower density. So they're saying as long as you meet these density requirements of the R17. See, they have cottage housing cluster, which is under they're permitted under footnote 25. So we go back to the minimum densities of R18 is 12 to 18 units per acre. That's the golden crumb we're looking for. So we go back to this site, we're looking at this, and it says 1.05 acres. And that's where we come in here and we say this equals 1.05 times 18. And then you want to round this up. Oh, round the wrong way. To a whole unit. So we can do 19 homes on this property. And we can set them up as, let's just call this insert description. And we can call them 1 bedrooms, 1 bed, 1 bath. And what we'll do is we'll try a few different options. Cost of the unit, and then we have total cost, we have description, we want site cost, we have construction, we want soft costs, we want construction, and this is going to be your streets, construction costs, your streets, your sidewalks, your parking, all the on-site trash enclosures and sidewalks and walking paths and landscaping and everything. And then we have, that's about it. So we got our site costs. Let's say that they want to sell that thing for $550,000. I'm just making numbers up. And we call this column cash accounting. We go like this, Control B. Total cost of a 1 bedroom, 1 bath is about all in 145. Total cost equals that times number of units. Site costs, the soft costs, they're going to cover your cost of your engineering, your cost of your permits, and so forth. And these are all covered in the other videos that I've done, is looking into all the details. I've done enough of these that I can, from the hip, kind of get us in the ballpark, and that's the goal here. Soft cost equals our quantity times about $14,000. Some jurisdictions are more, but I know this City of Vancouver jurisdiction is less by quite a bit. So we want 14,000 plus the cost of engineering a full site plan, 150,000. So soft cost 415. Construction costs are on a full acre. Stormwater facilities, your sewer lines, your water lines, everything is tied in. Manholes. Let's say that it's 585,000. That's going to cover landscaping. It's going to cover fencing and all the loose ends. So now we want to do a total. Run that up there to the top. Hit enter. We have a total construction cost of 4.2. But let's see what that rental income is. So we have this column over here that is cost. And we have this side over here that is revenue. And this is also going to play into our exit strategy. And merge and center those. Control B. So revenue, how many units? We got 19. We got monthly. And then we got water. Because when we do multiple units, we do them all shared. So I'm just going to call it a utility. What do they call it?
Service fee.
Yeah, utility charge. And then we've got total cash. So monthly is on a 1-bedroom, you're probably going to be renting that for 11, let's call it $12.50. You do not share walls or roof or ceiling with anybody else, so it does get a little bit of a premium. Utility for water, sewer, and trash, because it's all shared, I've been charging $125, so that equals that plus that. Yes, I want to accept it, and I should have went like this to begin with, times, all the way back at square one, B6, up, equals, times B6. Thank you. All right, so monthly, we're bringing in $25,987. I have seen expense ratio. Let's do Control X, Control V. And I have seen an expense ratio, including, we're going to call this a percentage, so we can adjust that. But insurance, property taxes, and all the loaded landscaping costs, water, sewer, everything, I'm seeing about 25%. So this equals that times one minus that, enter. So $19,490 is what a bank would look at in terms of what your net revenue is. Now, they tell you that you've got to have a cash, they call it a debt service ratio, and they want 125%. And this is going to be a percent. We're going to go 125. And this number is 125% of what? So we go equals that divided by this is $15,592 that they allow, a bank would allow you to fund a loan. So let's say the construction cost is 4.2, and we want to look at a down payment. And someone saved some money up and they want to do this. They're excited. They're willing to put their money where their mouth is, and they'll put in 500,000. I like to keep this all accounting digits. Down payments. So we then have to fund a loan funded amount. This equals that minus that. So we're looking at 3.79 is what needs to be funded. So then we want to do a loan calculator. This is monthly loan equals payment, PMT, rate, let's go 0.065, so 6.5%, comma. NPER is how many periods, and let's do it over 30 years, so 360. Present value equals that, comma. Future value is 0. We're paying it down to 0, end parenthesis. Oh, I got to take this rate and divide by 12 and put in a parenthesis and hit enter. So we're looking at a $23,000 payment per month. This is backwards. It's not going to work, or at least a bank would not lend on it. $23,957. We're bringing in $25,000. The debt service ratio of having some extra cash to cover it if we don't have rented for a month or two, a few units, vacancy, they work all that into that equation of a 125% debt service ratio. 15,000 does not cover 23,000. So then you start manipulating. All right, let's bring $1 million into the project, and voila, $20,000. Well, what if we raise rents? $1,250 was fairly conservative, but what if we can get a two bed, 1 bath, and it costs $155. Because again, it's cheap square footage. They both have a kitchen. So our costs did go up, but now that rental, we can get $1,500 a month. We're still getting the same utility charges, but our monthly income goes to $30,000. Expense ratio takes a haircut. We're at $23,000. Debt service ratio, after all your expenses are paid, got $18,000. We put $1 million down. We need to fund 3.4. Our monthly loan is $21,000. What happens if rates come down? You guys have been hearing about, oh, rates need to come down and so forth. It makes a difference, because by just going 1 percentage point, we're down at 5%, and we're at $18,000 on a monthly loan, and this one pencils. Now we're in the money. Someone's brought $1 million into the project, and you got $18,000. Let's look at the exit strategy. So now we got 19 houses, and what if we set them up as a condo, and we sell them individually as a condo? We would call this a sales amount. I'm going to say sale amount. We've got deductions from closing costs and escrow fees and paying real estate agents, etc. Total sale amount, 2-bedroom on the market right now. You could sell that thing for $350,000. $350,000. There's nothing else on the market under $400,000 right now that's new. Let's be conservative. Let's say $325,000. Deductions is about 7%, equals that times 93%. The inverse, whoa, not 93, times 0.93 is 302, equals that times all the way back in square one, 19 units. We're looking at selling of a 5.7. So if you can get this project to pencil, you've got some cash laying around, it will amortize over time and increase. It will appreciate over time, and you will get some longer held assets that gives you some great tax saving shelter strategies as well, which is a whole nother angle of this, is doing some accelerated depreciation through a cost segregation study. Highly recommend doing those. It's a great way to take capital, put it into a project that's going to have long-term appreciation. So exit strategy through selling is this. Selling exit strategy, renting revenue strategy. So manipulating the dollars and cents to make sure that it will all make sense. Down payment adjusts. These adjust. Number of units adjust. The cost of the unit adjusts. Your monthly rate adjusts. What you can charge for that. Sale amount adjusts. And those are your parameters to mess with to come up with a project that pencils. As you can see in today's climate, it's pretty tough to make stuff pencil. If we go 145, we buy the property a little bit cheaper. We offer them $500,000. We start getting more margin. Right now, our interest rate, we kept it at 5%. There are some banks out there that are credit unions and so forth that have some lower rates. Make sure you look around and ask questions and get some good pricing for things. If you stuck around to watch this long and you're more interested than bored, we strongly recommend you downloading this little sheet that I've made, using it, playing with it. There's nothing complicated. Some of the best stuff is done just on the back of a napkin sketch, and that's what this is. There's also a checklist of all the stuff we've talked about and something for you to go through when you're looking at different properties. Please email us with specifics, comments below. We watch them, we look at them, we take them seriously. It's how we learn and how we get better, providing better content for you guys. Thanks for watching.